Hello, my name's Fox9, so take a 9-bit Fox. First off, I'm gonna get more reactions done probably in a week or two. I apologize. I'm going to be actually out of town for a minute, so sorry about that. I'm also working on a video that I want to get it out this month, and hopefully I'll be able to get it out this month, so stay on the lookout for that. But recently, I've been watching Loki, the newest MCU show, and honestly, I've been enjoying it. I've really been enjoying all of it. I think out of all of them, the lesser of the three new MCU shows, I probably would say is the Falcon and Winter Soldier, slightly. And I just feel because that's more of a condensed story and more in this world, while WandaVision and Loki are more spreading out and more building more outside the universe. While I guess that one's more building inside the universe. But anyway, beside the point. And even though I still really like the ending of Falcon and Winter Soldier, I really love that new suit. But, in any case, I've actually been watching, recently, this is for Loki, reviews of it. I've been watching reviews actually beforehand as well. Not beforehand, I watched it. But I've been watching stuff like that, and one reviewer that I say that loosely in terms, and that's nothing against him, is Shadiversity, or Shad, and his friends on what is it? Damn, why can't I not remember that? Game Nights. God damn, I have the freaking video pulled up in front of me. But Game Nights. And here's the thing. I love, on Shadowversity channel, I actually really like. I definitely say to go check out his main channel, Shadiversity. His reviews on ideas of weapons, or like how weapons could be used for different races, stuff like that, is pretty good. Long as it's within the means of, I guess, realism or realisticism. I guess, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good way of saying it, because once you throw an idea of fantasy or something at him, he sometimes messes it up, or he sometimes just doesn't understand some shit. And sometimes it goes for something like, let's say, well, lightsabers. I really love lightsabers, and I do agree with certain points that he brought up, like certain points like, yes, lightsaber, like stabbing, stuff like that. Like, yes, the best way to kill someone with a lightsaber is probably to do a more fencing stance, stuff like that. When in actuality, I agree with stuff like that, if that was kind of the point of lightsabers and Jedi, when really the point of a lightsaber is, even though, again, like technically speaking, how hot it burns and stuff like that, would probably be a lot bloodier, but still, like, the idea of a lightsaber is to, cut off limbs and end a fight before it gets worse. And that's why Jedi don't go just for a killing strike or a killing blow and stuff like that. And again, he's like, I'm not going to look at any bit of the lore, I'm just going to go straight into this. Alright, fine, whatever. I'm good at looking at different people's point of views, and also I like seeing other people's point of views, even if I don't agree with them all that much. But and I say this definitely because of another YouTuber I like, Angry Joe. He is a really damn good video game reviewer. He is a really damn good video game reviewer. Not so much a good movie reviewer, but I will watch his point of view because, like, okay, this is a different point of view of going into this or something like that. Fine, I'm okay with that. But I will say this, at least when, because at least how, let's say, Angry Joe goes about it, or even like how I go about certain things. Like, for example, The Owl House, which is the main show that I really love right now. That show is, again, like, if you've seen those videos, I really don't like Luz's mom, Camilla. I think she is a terrible mother, and the show kind of points out bits, like, again, the first episode where, again, Ida and Luz's story are kind of mirroring each other. The Conformatorium is mirroring to the camp that Camilla is trying to send her daughter to make her normal, and there's just the implication of sending someone to a camp to make them normal is kind of already a bad situation. And again, but I always say, at least at the end, if they are able to give her more screen time, give her more story development, all this stuff, perfectly fine. Go ahead for it. I'm all for that. And again, I leave that at a point of that. Like, it's like, yeah, she's a bad mother right now, but let's go ahead and see what's going on. Shad goes in a different approach, and the point of this video is I kind of want to, give this lesson, is make sure to before you go to wild damn assumptions, be sure to look at things from a certain point of view and ideas and be like, okay, well, I'm going to leave that open just in case this happens. Because if you start out watching Loki and be like, ah, yes, Hollywood is full of Nazis and they love fascism, you're probably going into the show a very wrong way. Because that's kind of basically what he did in the first, like, his first review. He has 3 reviews out right now for the first 3 episodes of Loki. The first one, I felt like, what is he saying? When he goes, ah, yes, the TVA, who is like the basically time cops, they're fascist, they're fascist. And like, that's kind of true. Like, the TVA pretty much is kind of be set up for being the bad guy. And like, ah, yes, and he watches there's a propaganda thing that pops up on that video, on that episode. Spoilers for Loki. And it talks about like, ah, yes, the multiverse of all these things, and we trim the lines and cut them off and stuff like this, and we like basically, and if someone goes out of line of this timeline and messes it up, we take them and we destroy their entire timeline. And whether this and like, even if it's, you know, something they didn't know they were going to do wrong or something like that, or wrong, they bring it to the timeline. It's all of these red flags that pop up immediately that tell you, yeah, the TVA are probably the bad guys. They're the bad guys. They're basically taking people, destroying timelines, even if it's not as big as it shows in the second episode. Like, there's so much there that says, yes, there's bad things happening, or you know, there's certain bad things happening, stuff like that, or, you know, even like there's obviously some bad stuff happening in this, and it shows that yes, the TVA is not to be trusted. They're most likely the bad guys. They're bad people. But if you go into that, like, yeah, okay, these are probably the bad guys, you know, stuff like that. I don't think they're the good guys for pretty obvious reasons. I keep that in mind. At least that's how I would go in. That's how I went into that. Shad went into it. Ah, yes. Hollywood is full of people who love fascism, and by God, I bet that you're gonna make the TVA the good guys in this. And I'm looking at him like, are you like, no offense, Shad, I know you're pretty damn smart when it comes to weaponry, how to use certain weapons, fantasy weapons, and all this stuff going in. By God, story-wise, that's just fucking stupid. like, here's the thing. Going into, and again, like it said, like, and here's the thing I will give him. He does say eventually, yeah, my, like, if anything changes, I'll change my opinion, or like, if something that completely contradicts me, I will change that idea, or I'll change that opinion, stuff like that. And he has, like, certain things have been brought up later on. He's like, okay, I changed it, stuff like that and stuff. But here's the thing. If you go into a show, see the first episode and go, yes, Hollywood is full of Nazis, I think there's something bigger, deeper than just, like, like, there's a worse idea there. Like, at that point, you should probably wait until the very end before you start saying shit like that. Because holy shit. And also, like, because at least for me, it's kind of like me reading someone's book, only getting up to page 81, and going, hey, how come they don't realize Hitler was living in their village? Or like, the world building this thing is weird. Like, what genetic mutations inside their body could create people who have green hair with a random red stripe, or yellow hair, or like bright yellow? It's like, obviously, you read the book, you try to figure out something. And also, I don't believe the genetics are going to be brought up in this book, but in that kind of idea. And also, like, if I could just double check this very quickly, Shadowversity, PTTLED, Honor Guard Productions, because I want to see real quick. Not part of this publication, first edition, 2019. Yeah, I got his last one. Shadowversity and Honor Guard Productions. Is Honor Guard Productions its own thing? I just want to know real quick. Is Honor Guard Productions literally his publishing company, like, that he made? I kind of want to know. Because I just want to say this right now, because, like, again, like, here's the thing. if you're gonna read a story, like, if you're gonna read a story and you're gonna jump to certain assumptions about the writers or the readers or stuff like that, and I think that's the major point that I want to bring up. If you want to make major thoughts about, like, the writers of a story, or, let's see, the writers of the story, or the people writing it, maybe first finish it. Because if you watch the first part of it, or, like, let's say I just read if I just read up to 81, and I'm like, wow, this entire world has terrible history books, that they don't have a picture of fucking Hitler, that would kill a shit ton of people, and, you know, is one of the worst dictators of the world. Like, and just reading that beginning shit, or, you know, no one else thought, hey, let me jump off this island to kill myself, but also randomly hold a dark stone and a light stone to give myself superpowers. Like, the best thing I'm trying to think of really why this pisses me off a little bit, and I think it's probably because of something like that. Like, if you're gonna read a story and you're gonna review it, fine, but don't jump to massive conclusions about the people behind the scenes. Like, if you have ideas of, I think they're probably gonna make the TVA this, okay, like, even though, you know, context-wise, foreshadowing, things that a writer would know would probably lead to, no, it literally looks like, yeah, they're the bad guys. And again, Shad has taken back certain things that he was wrong about. I'm not saying he hasn't. But I do want to say, don't make fucking assumptions about the people behind the screen who are just like, yeah, I want to make a cool show. Yeah, I want to make a cool show. Or I want to do this and stuff like that. Like, don't be a dick. Like, holy hell. Like, man. Like, and here's the thing. This is a guy who's, like, really, like, he says, yes, we need to be together and help each other and stuff like that. But also, on that same note, these people are freaking idiots, and, like, I bet they're fascist Nazis. It's like, what? And I keep harping on that because that was the part that really threw me for a fucking loop. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, hold on a fucking minute. But yeah, it was shit like that. And again, if you're going to read a story, go through it like that. If you're going to review a story, definitely understand, like, use context of the story itself to go for it. And also, Shad, assuming you are the one who created Honor Guard Productions, I don't know if you are, because all I see is one book for Honor Guard Productions, and I can't find any other info about them right now. I can't find any other thing, and it looks like the only book that they've ever released is your book, Shadow of the Conqueror. If you are the author of that, like, here's the thing, because he brings up, he's like, I'm a published author. You're a self-published author if this is the case. Which at that point, I'm a self-published greatest artist of the world. Even though my art hasn't been seen by anyone. Like that isn't a that doesn't make you, that, it's the shit that you did with the nunchucks. Which, mind you, again, good note on him. The nunchuck shit, or not shit, stuff that he said on that, really good. Like, I completely agree. If you need this many years of training to use a certain weapon, that is probably a shit weapon. When I could pick up a stick or staff and beat the shit out of somebody pretty damn easily. Like, yeah, like, you, like, like, again, he is, like, again, same thing with Angry Joe and same thing with him with weapons. He's really damn good with weapons. I highly recommend his channel if you want to learn things about weapons and stuff like that, especially for different, like, ideas on, like, what you want to use. Like, I think through him, I actually kind of learned the idea of liking spears, honestly. I also learned things like swords were really, like, a second hand, were, like, kind of like the handgun, while the spear was kind of like the automatic gun, in a sense, of modern-day weaponry. It's really cool. I even learned different stuff about, like, armor, weapons, like, you know, like, how armor is built to protect and stuff like that. Like, it's really, like, he's really damn good on that stuff. But holy shit, story-wise, what the hell? I do need to finish reading this book, and I definitely want to read it. Especially now, because I'm like, I kind of want to see if you, like, you say your book is airtight. Like, I probably doesn't say that, but still, like, I kind of want to read more of it, obviously. But, yeah, like, come on, dude. Like, but yeah, like, remember that's... And also, another thing, because he is the guy who said, yes, boys should act like boys, girls should act like girls. I think kids should act how they want, and from there, build their personality. Because telling a boy, don't cry, don't do this, and try to hold in your emotions is kind of how you get serial killers as well as people who hate their lives. And like, again, just thought, because that was one of the newest things. Like, Also, his friend Oz, he's the best. I think it is Oz. I apologize. I'm terrible with names. The one in red. He is I really like him because he is really damn good at looking at a story, and I think, is probably the better reviewer out of the four of them. And mind you, the other two really haven't talked that much, but Oz, I think, is the better reviewer in that sense, where, again, I'm talking way too long about this shit, and probably no one cares, but, like, again, Shad is like, yes, the main timeline, and his friend goes, it's like, the main timeline, there's only one timeline, there's no other universe of variation, there's just one main timeline. And his friend goes, or Oz, I'm sorry, I think it is Oz. Oz goes, no, the space lizards? Yeah, multiple timelines. They reorganize them into a main timeline. Shad goes, no, there's only one timeline. Maybe I'm wrong, but there's only one timeline. And he's very adamant on that. And again, when he's shown wrong, because here's the thing. It's just a thought, and I'll probably make a separate video, hopefully, about this. The alternate, and maybe Shad watches this. I don't know. He has watched smaller YouTubers before, especially on the Nunchuck one. I would love to throw my 2 cents in there. Hell, I'd love to have a conversation with this guy. But the multiple, like, going on that idea of that Oz says, as well as the show literally brings up, because again, you have to look at the foreshadowing as well as what they say in it. But again, foreshadowing. If there's multiple different Lokis looking very differently, there probably are multiple different timelines. And if you do even deeper research, you find out the MCU is Earth 199999. I think it's 5 nines, which is in the multiverse of the comic book universe, which is Earth 616, and so on and so forth. Possibly these alternate timelines, all these, or these alternate times that are put onto the prime timeline, the main timeline, whatever the hell it's called. It's probably just saying all these different timelines or universes together that basically don't intersect with each other. Basically, that it just keeps these timelines separate. The Time Lords or whatever are trying to keep all these timelines separate and is cutting off any kind of variant that would lead to eventually creating a multiverse. Not creating a multiverse. Creating bridges to alternate timelines, whether that be, Loki takes the Tesseract and somehow figures out how to open a portal to another universe. It's in a sense of, it's preventing stuff like that, like Reed Richards creating whatever, like, machine he sends that sends a probe to multiverses that creates a zombie virus that connects to all different multiverse stuff, shit like that. That's what I would take as that timeline. And that, again, for me, if I wanted to review the Loki things, that's what I would think that is. Go with the information they give us and continue on like that. He completely just like, nope, one timeline only. There's no other timelines, just one timeline. Even though they say they reworked the multiverse into one main timeline, yes, but of many different universes in that one timeline. But again, beside the point, it's shit like that. But yeah. Basically, to take from this, don't review something when you're only at the beginning of it. Because if you go to the beginning of it, look at it like, people with different hair colors. Like, no one ever thought to jump off this damn island with these two things. How is it always, like, how is that, like, do these shadow monsters just not appear that, like, can only come out in the darkness? Can these shadow monsters not appear, like, if I, like, I don't know, cover underneath the table, a dark monster just appears? What stupid shit is this? These guys must be dumb. This writer must be a dumbass. Like, no shit, you're in the beginning of the fucking book. Like, holy God. Okay, but yeah, again, the lesson here, at least that I want to bring up, is remember to watch a story through. Watch a story through and judge the story on the information that's presented to us right now. You can obviously make predictions, guesses on what will come next. Yes, that's obviously okay. I do that shit all the damn time. And I'm not saying like you can or cannot do this. Hell, I'm not saying you shouldn't even listen to me. But I am saying that a better way to go about reviewing shit, and again, I barely have reviews. I barely am going to get anything out of this. He's probably not going to see this. It's probably not even going to blip on his freaking radar. It doesn't matter. It is for anyone who does want to see this. If you're going to review something, review it thinking, okay, how could this go? How could this continue onward? Bridging out from this point of view to that point of view and stuff like that. Like, learn storytelling. Like, kind of learn, like, okay, guess how this is probably going to keep going. How this is going to go. And I will say, Shad does bring up some things like, if you have to make excuses for the writers, it's probably not a good story. I completely agree with that. Though, some things you can infer. Like, for example, just bring up sidetrack, Star Wars. All of the main characters, whether they're Anakin, Luke, or Rey, are pretty damn good at certain shit with minimum amount of training. Anakin barely knows how to pod race, but when he taps into the Force and everything like that, he's able to win a race against veterans. Luke is able to fly an X-wing and tap into the Force to shoot lasers through there, even though he's never been a pilot. Last I checked, never been an actual pilot flying shit. As well as, able to fire a blast that goes this way and then down. And Rey can learn how to use the Force, even though technically later on, Rise of Skywalker, they explain, like, whatever Kylo can do, it's kind of a connection between the two that kind of goes back and forth. That kind of allows her to have, like, a boost in that ideas and stuff like that, and power. And allows her to do things like the mind control thing, which even then, again, all the other Jedi have shown to use the Force, tap into the Force, and have, like, that boost that, like, gives them a natural boost in a certain thing. Rey's just happens to be, like, mind shit. Like, again, you can infer these things. Inferring is not bad, but yeah, if you make too much of assumptions, yeah, it is probably a bad story. But on that same note, or on that note again, like, don't attack the writers. They're like, yeah, these writers must be fucking idiots. Why? Because you think Nazis are everywhere? Like, and here's the thing. This is a dude who's like, he says, yes, I'm a conservative. And, like, I know there's that, what is it, the woke thing? Woke shit? Where he just goes, yes, like, these people, shit, what is it? These woke people try to cancel you when you say this, where you say this stuff like that, and, like, call you Nazi, stuff like that. You literally just said, yes, Hollywood is full of fucking Nazis. Or, again, you say, yes, these time wizards are evil because, they try to stop free will and stuff like that. They're like the devil. And then goes, yeah, but my son acts like a son, and my son acts like a boy, and my girl acts like a girl. And it's just like, okay, that's fine, that's how I do it. I hope it's not because you say, hey, don't do that, or some shit like that. I think, kids should just be able to learn what they like or what they don't like. It shouldn't be set on, yes, you're a boy, so you have to do this. Yes, you're a girl, you have to do that. Like, again, free will. Chad, free will. But I already talked about a YouTuber that probably most of my audience probably hasn't seen. And this YouTuber probably will never see it. But, hey, you know what? Whatever. But yeah, like, again, lesson in this. If you're reviewing a story, don't attack the writers until the end. Let me rephrase that. Do not attack the writers. But you can call them fucking idiots at the end of the story. Because you don't know how this story goes, how this story ends, and you have no idea of their writing capabilities until the very end of it. Can you get hints at certain things? Yes, you can get certain hints, like, I'm trying to think, Jupiter Ascending what it was? Or, no, I can think of Batman v Superman, where it's like, ah yes, Bruce Wayne suddenly starts flying in the Batcave, and it's just like, okay. or like Man of Steel being always brooding and shit like that. Like, even though you can still enjoy those movies. Or hell, the prequels with the very stilted dialogue and all this stuff. Like, I'm not going to watch it half an hour in and be like, this movie's stupid. No. But yeah, like, if you're gonna make a review of it, like, the reason why, like, I've been meaning to do a Kevin 11, like, retrospective, talking about his story and stuff like that in the Ben 10 series. The reason I haven't is because I haven't finished Alien Force, because it's really difficult for me to watch through it all, because that is not that good of a story. Again, stuff like, yes, Kevin has been gone for however many years. Randomly, first episode, is kind of becoming a good guy, randomly has the hots for Gwen, is never explained, never brought up. Omniverse, it does fill in those gaps, which makes Alien Force, all that stuff, way better, but that stuff should have been more in Alien Force. It should have been there. It wasn't, so that's why I don't like Alien Force. Same thing goes, and that's why I'm not going to do an entire retrospective on Kevin 11 right now until I'm done with Alien Force. Like, but if you're going to be like, yes, all these people are fucking idiots. No, just wait. Or hell, even like those, like, at least a lot of those are episodic, where it's like, yes, we're going to make Ultimate Ben. It's like, that's just fucking stupid on many levels, and you kind of ruined a lot of shit. Like, stuff like that, okay, yeah. But, I don't know. And there is criticism with Loki. Like, yeah, Loki probably should be more ruthless on certain aspects. Although, I will say, again, like, I kind of want to go back and look at some of those things. Like, yeah, the alien force came to kind of attack New York, but Loki didn't do that himself. Like, I don't know. There are things to criticize about Loki, but some of the shit that he brings up is just like, what? And it's just like, watch the show. Just watch the show. And again, I will say this, he does go back. He does talk about different things and stuff like that. But holy shit, is there so much of it that's just like, shut the hell up on those parts. And you know what? Oz doesn't give any shit about, like, hasn't said, and again, the personal shit about, like, yeah, boys, girls. Again, free will, let your kid do, not saying let your kid go crazy or wild and try to destroy shit, no, but let them find who they are. Don't just say, yes, you're a boy, so you have to do this, you're a girl, you have to do this. But yeah, let people do how they want, write their own things. Obviously, criticize the story at the end, or if it's episodic, sure, go like that. But something like Loki, it's pretty much an 8-part movie. You gotta watch it to the end. You kind of gotta watch it to the end for certain shit. But yeah. Other than that, yeah. Go check out Shad for his weapons, his ideas on weapons, stuff like that. It's really damn good. Game nights, check it for Oz. Check it out for Oz, because he seems to be the voice of reason in their show, in that place. He gets some stuff wrong too, but he seems to be kind of the voice of reason, even though there are certain things that, like, it's just like, yeah, women should be affectionate and feminine and stuff like that, and it's just like, one, not all women are like that. Two, like, free will. If society was literally, let's go with a tangent timeline. If society decided that, yes, if society kept that, yes, blue is for girls, blue is for girls, pink is for boys, I feel like Shad would be like, yes, girls shouldn't wear, like, girls shouldn't wear, pink, because blue is their color. It's shit like that. Like, it's an over-exaggeration, but it is a sense of, it's more along the lines of, that's just kind of how, like, the idea that you have to act a specific way because of gender, whatever, is more or less a construct of, yes, society. It is a construct of society, ancient dogmas, and all that shit. Whatever. Sorry, that bit shit annoyed me. That made me kind of do. But yeah, if you're gonna do a review of a story, review it. Review the completion of it. Obviously, you can obviously talk about different points of it. You can obviously say, okay, I didn't like this episode because of this. I didn't like it because of that. And stuff like that. But going on ginormous leaps of, yes, the TVA is probably the good guys, and the writers are Nazis. That alone is just like, okay, again, Shad, what the hell? Again, Why, like, why isn't this world completely destroyed by shadow creatures? Obviously, if the shadow creatures just pop out of anywhere, there's darkness underneath my seat right now. Shouldn't a shadow creature pop out and kill me in this universe? Are you saying there's no darkness like that? How come dark creatures don't just pop out of people's stomachs because there's darkness inside your body? Like, again, if you check it from the beginning, if you read a story from the beginning and you don't, let it seep in and stuff like that, it's gonna feel that. And also, again, don't say shit like, yes, I'm a published writer when you publish your own damn book. At least that's what so far it seems. I can't find any other company that that book that has been printed from that company, so I'm assuming it is yours. Like I'm a published writer, okay, and I'm a famous artist because I say so and because I put my pictures on DeviantArt. Like that, and also fun enough on the nunchuck. The reason why I brought up the nunchuck thing was earlier was because he brings up a bit like, oh yes, like he talked about the guy with the nunchucks, another YouTuber, where he's like, oh yeah, the YouTuber says, oh yes, I've been training and using these nunchucks for so many years, so I know how to use it, and he's like, that's no, that doesn't mean that weapons are good just because you say you're a master or use this many times. That's like, I can't remember what the hell he said it was exactly. But yeah, like that's what that is. that's what that, like, that's exactly what you're doing with stories. Also, side note, Master Sword, yeah, there probably is a little bit of chunkiness on this thing and stuff like that, but I will say, no, you don't move this into the guard because, assuming Shad is watching this, you don't move this into the guard because then that takes away from the look of the entire blade. Your entire view is focused on just the handle alone, when, at least for me, having the triad symbol here allows you a full view of the sword. Allows you more looking at, yes, the handle because of the color, a little bit of this, the roping, which Skyward Sword kind of explains, I think, I don't know. And then this also helps you look more towards the blade, and then obviously so on. But yeah, again, that's my take on this. I'm sorry that this isn't like my usual videos, my reaction videos that some people want to see. I'll try to bring that up later. I'll try to get those out in a week or two. Again, I'm going to be gone for a week, completely gone out. So yeah, but thank you for watching. For videos that I've done, links are on my Facebook and other description of videos. Again, Chad, go check their stuff out. He also did a crossover with Blue from OSP, which is I would say my favorite YouTube channel. I would say Markiplier is my favorite YouTuber. OSP is my favorite YouTube channel. And here's the thing, it's really good. If you want ideas to watch their OSP stuff about either ancient history or mythological stuff, because a lot of that stuff has given me so many ideas. Shad has given me so many ideas for different weapons to use, different ideas, how to use certain weapons, even for me to kind of learn more how to use a sword, because I love swords. But yeah, it's just an idea on that stuff. Again, in the end, if you're gonna, I keep bringing it up, I keep repeating myself, so I apologize. Be yourself. No matter what gender, whatever you are, be yourself. Be who you are, what you are. Be yourself. Find who you are. Free will is a gift. Oh, free will is a gift. Don't jump to random conclusions. Don't jump to conclusions on people without either knowing them or, don't jump to conclusions on people. And maybe I am jumping to conclusions in this video, so you know what? Whatever. Don't jump to conclusions on people just because you don't understand their writing or haven't finished their story yet. Don't call people freaking idiots or morons just for stuff like that. I will say, for some people, Chad and his friends are very much... Okay, here's the thing. If you're someone who goes, yeah, they stripped away his masculinity, why do you care? Oh wow, he got his ass beat. Also, it answers Shad's thing. There are 3 main women in Loki. 2 of them are idiots. Female Loki, because she's brute force, She's terrible at magic, yet she says she's better than Loki, as well as the serial who literally got whipped around by Loki. But yeah. But thanks for watching. If you videos, I don't links are on my Facebook and Instagram videos. Hopefully you enjoy this. Shad, if you watch this, hey, I'd like to talk. Honestly, it'd be kind of cool, I think. But thanks for watching videos. Hopefully you enjoy this. Go check out Shad's, weapon stuff. If you're going to watch his reviews, go ahead and do it. And also, Shad, maybe not believe the propaganda of the evil TVA, lest you literally think there is no war in Bossing Say. But thanks for watching videos, and we will. See you later!